Hello, America. I'm Lyle Rapacki reporting for Prescott eNews in Prescott, Arizona, and this is Arizona Today. My very special guest, as you can tell, is Mayor Rudy Giuliani from former New York mayor and a whole host of other attributes. And Mayor, thank you so very much for taking time out of your schedule to join us
Pleasure to
today.
be with you, Lyle.
It's great seeing you again. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, it was my privilege to work with the mayor these past weeks with his team on the alleged fraud and a number of other issues associated with the last election. And Mayor Giuliani has been just doggedly going after this to present to America the numerous issues that have plagued this last election. So I'm just very humbled and very honored to not only have made the acquaintance of this gentleman, but also to have worked with him. And now today he's here, and I want to introduce this mayor to all of you again from a different point of view. First, before I do that, Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you an update. In Arizona, the legislature, several members, Representative Fincham, in particular, who's spearheading this, is going to file with the Arizona Attorney General next week, the first of the week, a request to conduct a criminal investigation in Maricopa County on the machines and associated materials. And now this is brand new because, again, there's been a lot of stalling and the supervisors have done everything they can politically to make sure that nothing actually happens. And so Representative Fincham, along with several other legislators, are taking this aggressive step the very first part of next week with the Arizona Attorney General, and I'll keep you informed. And I don't want to take any more time from the mayor, but I wanted to share that with you all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's just a great honor. I'm repeating myself, but it's a great honor and privilege to be here with Mayor Giuliani. Mayor, I don't think you ever expected to be in a position like you are today. Am I correct in assuming that?
Absolutely. I've never assumed that there would be an election fraud of this dimension that was censored by the major part of the media, big business, big tech. You can't get any information about this out with almost, fear of destroying your career. Something really wrong with that too. Something about gives you the feeling you're in East Germany or something before the end of the Cold War.
And that's a great lead into another question. We did not rehearse this, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to know that. But you had a stellar career. And I know you're unpretentious, and I'll go ahead and take the hit on this, Your Honor. But this gentleman does not talk about his past and what he's accomplished. He's very unpretentious, and in my opinion, he's a true servant leader. He's gone to work for America, for citizens, and he's allowed his work product to speak for himself versus him out tooting his own horn. Now, I'll say that, Your Honor, and I'll take the hit if I get in trouble. But I would think, correct me if I'm wrong, I would think that this has been a surprise to you, given your past, given all that you've accomplished, to now all of a sudden take on this charge of fraud in numerous states and to do your due diligence to try to find out the very best, honest, integrous answers as to did it occur or not. And now to have all this come against you, they want to disbar you, they want to sue you, they're calling you names, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think you ever saw any of this coming. Am I correct?
Well, I did see it coming, not quite as bad. I mean, I've been through it for quite some time. I represented the president in his impeachment hearings. I got quite a bit of criticism for that, quite a bit of ridicule for that, threats, had difficulties with my law firm, clients. So I wasn't completely unprepared for it. I am totally shocked at the double standard. I mean, the evidence that I discovered on Joe Biden, I was criticized for a year and a half, and then the hard drive came out and it corroborated every single thing I said. And of course, they never apologized for the fact that they were wrong and I was right. All they did was cover up the hard drive. So the American people elected a president.
We're having a little trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Hang in there with us.
And then when I started presenting evidence about fraud in the election, like the woman in Georgia who threw all the people out of the counting center, kept just a couple of loyal Georgia Democrats behind, and counted 30,000 ballots without any inspection, which is illegal in Georgia. Ballots that look like they may very well have been forged ballots, but in any event, they were illegal. And when we found that, I thought, oh my goodness, this will turn the corner. We have it on tape. Well, the governor and attorney general of Georgia, both Republicans, just scoffed at it as if that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to count phony ballots. There are 65,000 people in Georgia who are underage that voted. They don't seem to care. So the thing that shocked me the most was how effectively the Democrats were able to cover this up, particularly with the help of some Republicans.
Now, I wrote an article a little while back dealing with servant leadership. I don't see it anymore. I grew up being taught about servant leadership. You don't run for office, you don't gain a position just so you can have a better parking place and a title.
Sure. I understand exactly what you're saying. Too many of them are exactly like that. I mean, you look at the leadership of our party in many of these states has become corrupted by power. They've become corrupt, if not money, they've become corrupted by power. Power is like an aphrodisiac. And when you've served for 30 years or 40 years and everyone treats you like you're almost like a king, and very hard to give that up. You've been long past the ability to really critically analyze things. We can see that in Washington with Pelosi and Biden. I mean, these people aren't functioning with the kind of requisite intellect that you need for the kinds of jobs they're doing. It was quite dangerous, actually.
Do you think that's one of the issues that plagued President Trump? I know you know him very well. He came from outside into this power structure. He was not ever fully accepted. And he, from the best that I can tell, and based on the evidence, he put America first. That wasn't just a slogan and some cute little political statement. And
it wasn't a slogan. It was a reality. I think they thought it was a slogan. And when he put America before their lobbyists and all the money they're making and the connections they've made and the deals they've made, where Democrats shouldn't oppose Republicans and Republicans shouldn't oppose Democrats. And when you go into Ukraine, if you end up uncovering the Democratic corruption, you're going to uncover the Republican corruption. Or if you go to China, you're going to see that relatives of Biden made a fortune, but you got a couple of Republicans that made a fortune there too. You start to realize that it isn't just Democrat corruption, it's Washington corruption. And not every one of them, but a lot of them, and particularly those most afraid of President Trump, are up into their eyeballs in it.
Sticking with the topic here of servant leadership, or the lack thereof in our nation, and taking you off the issues of fraud and all that right now, if you'll just move over with me. It is your opinion, because you're very well traveled, you're very learned. Is it your opinion that over the last 20, 30 years, in the lack of schooling, educational, and also even parenting, we've lost the ability to teach our children what servant leadership is all about? And are we seeing the effect of that now?
Yeah, I think over the last 30 to 40 years, whatever you want to look at it, our educational system, particularly our public educational system, has in many, many places not only deteriorated, it's a disaster. 8% graduation, 10% graduation, 15% on course with regard to major subjects. People who don't understand history when they get out of college, they don't understand math. I mean, it's a terrible thing that we're doing. We're letting politics ruin our children, because politics is more important to many of these people than our children. In fact, politics is more important to these people and the political power and the money you can get for it than almost anything else. Their conscience is ruled by it. That's how they can lead. That's how they can lead totally phony investigations of Donald Trump and get away with it. Yeah. I mean, look at the things that Pelosi was doing, or Schiff, what's this guy's name who had a Chinese communist girlfriend, who was a spy?
Right.
Oh, Swalwell. I mean, these people have no, I don't ever hear them talk about the country. I mean, I hear them talk about some new charge totally made up about Trump. And then it turns out to be false. So Schiff gets up and says, I have evidence of 2 people that were directly involved with the Russians and Donald Trump. And then when push comes to shove, there isn't 2 people. There is such evidence. Swalwell doctors evidence in the impeachment case. He doctors up a text message and gets cavalry and cavalry confused, makes it seem as if deal with Jesus to fight the injustice. He thought it said cavalry and said, see, he's provoking violence.
Hang in there, everybody. We're having some technical difficulties in New York. Okay. I've lost connection. Can you hear me, Mayor?
I hear you fine.
Okay.
Hear you fine.
We lost you there for a minute.
Sure, you can go back. I'll do that again if you want.
Well, let me actually follow up with what I think you were saying. Because of the lack of servant leadership in our nation, the evidence that you presented, evidence that I know we have presented to the Arizona legislature and others, the political leaders don't seem to care about it. They seem more concerned about ruffling feathers than ruffling the evidence to get to the bottom. Am I reading this wrong?
Well, I don't understand it. I mean, the evidence sometimes is so overpowering you can't escape it, and they do. And it has to tell me that the other priorities are much greater, and then I suspect that there's some corruption involved in it, because when things don't make any sense to me at all and highly ambitious people are going in the other direction, my experience of the prosecutor, there's always some kind of corruption involved.
Yeah. Where's the political process today, in your opinion?
Political process today, I mean, the parties are kind of shaken out. The Democratic Party has become almost inexorably a more left-wing party. The whole idea that Biden was going to moderate it kind of disappeared with his 40 or 50 executive orders, which went straight to the left, cost us, on the first one cost us 11,000 jobs, and then it just continued to grow. The idea of America First, he's done away with. He ridiculed Trump's America First policy. But if you look at his executive orders, America doesn't even come in the top 10. And basically, it's China first, and then everybody else after. And the American worker is the last thing he thinks about. It's going to cost us hundreds of thousands of jobs with climate accord and all the things that he wants to do, the amounts of money that he wants to spend. So he went straight to the Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, left-wing agenda for the party. The whole idea of unity kind of got destroyed, where they don't seek bipartisan votes on anything. Which is like an insult. And now they want no input from the Republicans on the minimum wage, on anything. This is going to be like government by Obama, like he passed Obamacare with not a single Republican vote and then tried to ram it all the way through. The simple fact is that the large majority of people in Biden's party, whether he's aware of it or not, want to move us toward acknowledged socialism. Many of them even call themselves socialists. They want to take your money and to do, and that's by the time we get 2 years into it, a lot of money is going to get taken from the middle class and the rich in this country and given to the favored Democratic voters. Oh.
Okay. Let- And you can hear me still. Okay, good.
I heard fine. Yeah.
Okay. We're just having a little technical difficulty coming out of New York. That's all. No problems. But um, let me ask you a follow up here on where's the Republican Party in your estimation? I don't see the leadership.
Just go to that.
I see positional leaders, but I don't see true leadership.
Well, I'll tell you where the Republican Party is. The Republican Party is going through reanalysis, as you always do after a shocking loss, and maybe a loss that wasn't a loss. And the vast majority, 80%, 85, 90%, enthusiastically supported and support Donald Trump. There's about a 5 to 10% old-fashioned Republican, let's call it, who finds Trump undesirable. And I don't think it's so much an issue thing as a personality thing, although there are some issues involved. So you tend to have the main core of the Republican Party, which has really switched places with the Democrats. It's become the populist party. It's become the party of the people. It's become the party of the people that feel alienated from Washington. Those are the people that were most drawn to Donald Trump last time and this time. So that could be anybody. That could be a Black person in a poor neighborhood. It could be a Hispanic person. It could be the head of a bank who feels that he and his bank have been excluded from all the shenanigans that go on in Washington. It could be someone in the military who feels the military has been shafted, or people in religion who feel that our freedom of religion has been just about obliterated by the liberal Democrats, and particularly the governors during the pandemic, or people who value free speech. I mean, it's virtually doesn't exist anymore with the power that big tech has. And they're all Democrats and shutting down, discriminating against Republicans. So you take all those people who I consider to be alienated, they are not happy with the government as it is. They see Donald Trump as the only man who ever took these issues on. The only one who ever took China on. So the Republican Party is made up of mostly people who are extremely unhappy with the government that we have, and they want to change it to a government that's responsive to the people. There are a few Republicans that really move over to the other side because they really are part of the other side. They're part of the permanent government. They're part of the elite government. They're part of the people who have been in Washington anywhere from 10 to 50 years. Washington tends to be who they represent. You know, Biden stopped representing Delaware when he started taking all sorts of advice from lobbyists and then eventually money from his kids. And Pelosi's husband and son made a fortune off her position. And Feinberg spent 20 years with a Chinese spy working for her. She's so out of it, she didn't know it. They're not even in the real world. So I think that parties are kind of switched. You know, there was a time in which the Democrats were sort of the party of the small man, party of the poor man, the working man. They're sort of the party of the elite now. They're the party of the big tech, who are some of the richest people in the world, which kind of makes them the party of the rich. They're the people who want to move us toward socialism. And these are very, very wealthy international forces who want us to be like Europe. And then they add to it, you know, a large number of people who are part of the intellectual elite. So I mean, even Biden said when people wanted to know what he was going to do about packing the Supreme Court, he said they don't have a right to know. They don't deserve to know. You can see what I mean? The attitude slips through. The attitude is, we're stupid. They know what's right for us, and they're going to go ahead and do it. This has been a growing liberal attitude for about 40 years. Now it's really taken over the party. I think started to take over the party with Hillary. I think Obama had an arrogance that was so big he couldn't fit his head through the door. And I think Biden doesn't know what he's doing, but the other people are assuming it. They just believe that they know what's best for us. Like on COVID, we must do what they say. You know, even though schools do not particularly spread the virus, nor do restaurants, we close schools because the teachers want them closed so they don't have to work. And we close restaurants, and I can't for the life of me figure out why we close restaurants, but we do it, just so we can gratuitously ruin them. But these come down like edicts from emperors. The governors, the Democratic governors, because of their sense of socialism, fall very easy into dictatorial practices. And we're going to have to really take that on in 2022, because it's starting to ruin the real America, which is a free speech. No one's better than anyone else. No one has a right to hold it over anyone else. And I think the Republican Party becomes the party of populism now.
We have received.
I'm going to have to run at this point.
I know you are. And I want to thank you so very much.
I'd love to come and see you, and we can talk some more, all right?
I'm looking forward to you coming out here. Thank you very much.
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Lyle. It was great.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great treat having Mayor Giuliani with us today. But he is being sued. They're trying to disbar him in New York. He's taken it in the shorts everywhere he turns, from name calling to gossip mongering to anything else, character assassination. It's very, very difficult, but yet he is fighting the good fight. He's not giving it up. The fraud campaign is still moving forward. I just announced at the beginning of the show that in Arizona here, Representative Fincham, who chaired the joint legislative hearing in Phoenix on November 30th, he is now moving forward to file with the Arizona Attorney General the first of next week, articles for an investigation, criminal investigation. And so this is not over, ladies and gentlemen. And for all of you across this nation, and I mean hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you, thank you, thank you, thank you for your letters, your cards, your notes, your encouragement, your support financially and otherwise. It is not going to all my cigars and Maker's Mark. I love all the little notes that you're sending me about that. Keep them coming because they really shore us up. I am reading each and every one of them. And I'm also passing them along. That's why the mayor came on, because he knows that we, the people, are fed up. We, the people, are looking for leadership. And so Mayor Giuliani, an incredible schedule, if you can only imagine, said, you know, Lyle, I want to come on and spend some time with you and the people. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, there's other elected officials and others who have been involved in this election investigation. They'll be coming on this show in the next weeks here. Stay tuned. Don't give up. This is a heck of a fight. We are fighting for the very survival of this nation. That's not a theatrical statement. I think in time, and I apologize for that statement, but in time, you're going to be able to see, you're going to be able to know that this has been a fight to the very core of this nation. And it's taken time, it's taken a toll. A lot has gone on here behind the scenes that will come public, will come forward. The curtain will be pulled back, but there are forces at work to keep that curtain closed. So thank you, America. Thank you, America. Seriously, thank you for being patient. We're not giving up. It is a heck of a fight. We're a little bruised, but we're moving forward. We're not sitting here on the sidelines and telling you one thing and misleading you. I will promise you that. And we're trying to respond to all of your letters and your notes as fast as we can. And my little book that's coming out is going out. I think we're mailing 500 tomorrow, and I had to order another 800. So thank you very much, all of you. I am Lyle Rapacki reporting for Prescott eNews in Prescott, Arizona, and that's how I see Arizona today.